types of attacks into our leg lock systems this week. Both what we call a lateral kneebar and the Z-lock. Okay, so we're gonna start this off from a familiar position. If you don't know saddle, all I want you to do is step between your partner's legs, turn perpendicular, connect your knee to your heel, slightly past their knee. Okay. Remember, whenever we do this, we need to make sure that when I start to settle in here to any saddle variation, that his knee is not going past my knees. Okay, we're not losing what we call the knee line. Okay, typically we want to straighten, collect the second leg. Okay, so we have good control here. But now that people are so used to this, as we enter saddle, if we don't do a good job of going to the second leg right away, okay, he's going to keep that leg away, and then this is when saddle becomes arguably one of the easiest leg lock positions to escape. Okay, like literally, if Grant just makes his leg straight and pulls away, right, baseline, that's what he needs to do. Is it going to be that easy? No, but okay, once he starts twisting and turning here, okay, you guys know as well as I do that can lead to some problems. This is where we're going to switch to the lateral knee bar first to control the leg that we have left. So instead of like racing to go to a heel hook while he's escaping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to underhook his heel like I'm going for a knee bar. I'm going to grab the knuckle of his toes, and then I'm going to reinforce, kind of like we're doing an A-block. Okay. Then from here, just like any other strong position or submission, I'm going to take this lock and I'm going to bring it to the middle of my chest. Okay. Now from here, what we're looking to do, okay, I want you guys to do a few reps where you actually finish the lateral knee bar. It's going to be the big catalyst for future leg locks, and it's going to cause a lot of good reactions to go to other leg locks here. Okay. So we'll pretend like Grant's not reacting at all. So all I want you guys to do is, again, grab the toes, underhook the heel, get that double lock here, bring this to the middle of your chest, and it's kind of like you're arm barring his leg. Okay. So from here, I'm going to raise my hips as I pull his toes and rotate his heel. Okay, and very similar to an A-block. So we're pressuring through the knee, hence the name lateral knee bar. Okay, doing this to his knee. Whereas a regular knee bar, we would be aligned with the kneecap. Okay, going straight through the leg. If you think of like when you capture a heel hook, whether it's an inside or outside, doesn't matter. You're also catching that ball of the big toe, or catching the toe line in our armpits here. Clamp that detail together with what we're going to do this week. Okay? Perhaps even easier, because once you get here, all you're going to do is take your other hand and just literally grab that ball with the foot. Okay? Then we're just going to go hand over hand. I'm going to bring this to the middle of my chest. I'm pulling the toes down as I roll the heel up, and that's when I bring my heels in and I hit through the knee. Be careful so that you guys are not sliding down below the knee. Okay? We can't lose the knee line, or else we don't have a submission here. Just go straight up as you twist the foot. Turn perpendicular, have a seat, okay? Then triangle your legs in the saddle position. Okay? We're going to assume that we can't get the second leg. All right? So, good idea here is we're going to underhook the heel, grab the knuckles of his toes, get a double grip here, and start to pull this to the middle of our chest. Okay? I'm going to back heel here so I can lift my hips as I rotate his toes down and I rotate his heel up, put pressure through the knee for the lateral knee bar. I'm not going to say this is exactly the same, but you just want to like envision almost that you're still doing an inside heel hook. Okay? Except we're just turning in a different way so we have a different grip. Okay? It's a tombstone grip. Okay? The only difference is we're just here, right? And later on in class, when we pass this leg and we go to what we call the Z-lock. Okay? I want you guys to think like the Z-lock is an outside heel hook. This will cycle back into situations where we can go back to our more basic heel hooks. Alright, so this goes into what I was talking about where we're really going to use this a lot as a way to cause reactions, right? Okay. So for example, if Grant were to defend this by kicking his leg over and putting his knee on the ground, Okay, we can use that to pass to an inside heel hook. If Grant were to defend by turning the other way, we could use this to pass to an outside heel hook. Okay? Staying with the pathway here of this lateral knee bar, okay? It's going to be a mouthful, but we're going to go for a lateral knee bar, okay? And we're going to do this when he goes for like the third reaction, which is basically just to put his hands off the mat, or hands on the mat rather, and just lift his butt off the ground. Okay, go ahead. See, when I'm here, I can only lift my hips so much, okay? I can't put enough pressure in to finish that leg lock now. So what I'm gonna do instead, okay, is I'm gonna start to pass this leg to my lat, like basically what we would do with like a regular knee bar, okay? So here, I'm gonna start to pass. Now, guys, unlike a regular knee bar, I'm not gonna look to go like right under the heel, okay? For a lateral knee bar, if I do this, it's gonna be really easy for Graham to bend his leg. Try to go like this way if you could. Yeah, exactly. Which is not a bad thing. It's gonna lead to some really strong submission, other submissions in a second here, okay? But if I'm looking to catch him here, what I wanna do instead is when I pass it, I wanna go on the knuckle of the toe again, okay? Then I hold here. Can you bend your leg now? It's really difficult. Like when he goes to like slip his heel out, it's kind of like an Aoki lock, I guess, where his like heel's just hitting my chest here. Now, just like any other lat submission, I'm gonna start to bury this elbow, pinch my knees, and raise my hips to finish the lateral knee bar. When I start to put pressure on the knee bar here and Grant hips up, I have the option to pass this foot under his hip and really lock the hip down here even further, okay? Go for our first knee bar here, very similar to a regular knee bar. Maybe we're putting pressure here, we can't finish. That's when we trade our normal grips to the lat grip. Same as an arm bar too, right? We do that a lot. So here, the specific situation is that as I push the toes down and lift the heel and bridge, Gabe follows me. So I take that opportunity to pass his foot to my armpit. Again, I clamp that knuckle of the big toe, both hands over the heel. And then that gives me more leverage here when I start to pinch my lats together. We do have some interesting options here. Now this is all going to be predicated on, again, controlling this toe knuckle here. So as long as you guys understand that, you do have different options with this hand, okay? As long as you don't lose that toe knuckle, you can do things we do in the lat knee bar, such as grabbing our own leg and then grabbing here, arguably tighter. Again, I could choose to just pass his leg altogether, especially if I lose the bend, and start to attack an outside heel hook with this classic reap position, okay? Again, if the lateral knee bar here was like an inside heel hook, the Z-lock, when we pass the leg to the other side, it's almost going to function like an outside heel hook. Okay. So sometimes it will be that simple in some leg lock exchanges where you can just pass the foot. Okay. For now, it's almost like make a trail or a game plan out of this. We could choose to do this voluntarily. Like maybe you get here. Okay. Maybe he's grabbing your hands. Okay. Maybe you can't hand fight and strip this off. Okay. Whatever the case is, or maybe you just like the Z-lock better. I can always make the choice to just continue to pass his leg. The theme this week is layering, not only layering our game plan, but also coming full circle, right? So if you guys remember at the beginning of class, the problem we had in the first place is that we could not collect both legs, all right? This is actually a very strong place to start to collect the second leg again, almost like a straight Ashi version of double trouble in saddle, okay? So just to give you guys an idea of like, if I do go for an outside heel hook here and like he has good leg lock defense, Gabe is basically gonna turn straight away from me. Good, he's gonna sit on my top leg, like literally, like, yeah. So turn that way. Yeah, sit on this, and then he'll use this leg to wedge out his knee in a lot of different ways. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So if I can control his far leg, I can stop that. Okay. All right. So I still want you guys to go for the lateral knee bar. Do the first one. Make him lift his hips off the ground. Okay. That gives you the pass off to the lateral knee bar. Let's assume we can't finish here, or he's just generally able to bend his leg, right? What I want you guys to do right away is sit up, okay? If you have the dexterity here, the body type, okay, you can get a 2-on-1, okay? If you don't, like let's say you can only sit up this much, you can also burrito grip the ankle. They both give us control of the far leg, okay? Regardless of which grip you use, you're gonna do the same thing we do in saddle. You're gonna straighten this leg, and you're gonna pull your knees in. Once we get here, this is good, but I need to start separating my legs to finish. So that means I need to get control of the second leg, all right? So what we're gonna look for is an overhook off this 2-on-1. Now, the shallowest we can go is basically an ankle lock grip. I'm not trying to ankle lock them, I'm just trying to hold the leg. If we want this to be tighter, what I'm gonna recommend you guys do is get your elbow all the way up by his knee and grab your own thigh here, okay? Now, this is gonna give me the ability to free my legs so I can start to finish variations of the Z-lock. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start to turn in this direction as much as I need to so I can step on my own foot, okay? Stepping on your foot here, when we start to fall back down to the side, is part of the mechanic of finishing this when I tilt my knee down, okay? Now, as I do that, there's also a couple other things I'm doing to help finish this. Okay. Pushing on my own foot, scooting my butt back, okay, and then tilting this knee down. Be our stronger option too, if he insists on keeping his leg straight. If Gabe straightens his leg here, don't worry, I'll be gentle. Okay. It's even worse, he's sending tension through his own leg. Okay. We already looked at passing the leg over here. Like if we started in something like regular single leg X Ashi here, okay, all we would have to do is throw in a wreath and it's possible to go for a Z-lock, okay? If he keeps his leg bent, it's harder to finish without making grips, which is what we're going to talk about next, don't worry, okay? But if you guys can really get those mechanics down first, when you do go to use your hands, this is going to seem like you're barely doing anything, all right? All right, so again, we're going to get our lateral knee bar grip here. Okay. Pass this off. Okay. Can't get the finish here. Maybe he bends the leg, or maybe I bend it for him, okay? As soon as that happens, I'm going to get as close to this leg as possible via a sit up here. 2-on-1, or again, if you don't have the flexibility to get that close or the body type, you're just going to burrito grip the ankle, straighten your leg, and then look to shelf it here, okay? Before we release the shelf, we want to get control of the second leg with our arm. So, with our 2-on-1, or a burrito grip, we're just going to advance to an overhook by the knee, grab our own leg, okay? Guys, in terms of what we're doing with this hand now, this is the hand that we're going to use to supplement this later on. For now, you can just grab his knee and turn it in, okay? This is very minor, all right? Bigger thing here, rotate it this way as much as you need to step on your own foot, okay? I go back down, okay? He's already feeling the tension here. I scoot back as I push on my own foot, and this knee is pinching down. You just can't use that leg. This could be a better option for you, okay? So from here, instead of just simply grabbing the leg, you're gonna keep the reap in solid and post your foot. Come up here like you're doing a technical sit-up. And here, this is another good way to collect the leg, okay? Even do things like the burrito grip here, okay? And then from here, start to accomplish the same goals. You'll see people go directly to this one just because it's so much stronger. And that's going to be where we use our free hand here. So put that in perspective here, okay? So we make our pass off, okay? This leg bends. Does he necessarily need to bring his hips up for me to go to a Z-lock? No, not necessarily, okay? Again, it can be as simple as just passing this leg from one side to the other. As long as we can get this position, guys, we can do the Z-lock. Now guys, remember what I said, okay? I'm seeing a lot of you like kind of cheat yourselves here, especially if you and your partner are of a similar, smaller body type. Get as close as you can here and really shelf up this leg. Expand this knee. Same thing here. About now. See, barely. I want to make this position as tight as possible. When I start to set everything the same way here, okay, unlike the other one, I'm not going to do this if his leg's straight. I'm going to probably do the last one if his leg's straight, okay? You'll see why in a second. Because I want to get access to his foot now. So if Gabe straightens his leg, again, that's when I do the last one because I can't really reach this foot, okay? So from here, I'm going to get like an upward C grip on the knuckle of his toe again, just like we did in the lateral knee bar, okay? I'm just going to start to raise this as I pinch my knee down, okay? If you don't have the shoulder mobility to reach that, and or you prefer a different finish, we're going to underhook this ankle, okay? So I'm going to go back this way. Maybe I can't reach the foot. I'm going to punch my arm under, get my shoulder under it, kind of like you're taking somebody's head and smashing it into the mat. Don't do it that fast. You're going to turn your shoulder around the line of his knees, okay? You guys probably felt here that sometimes when he keeps his leg the opposite way, like really bent, okay? You're like, man, I'm doing everything right, getting a deep overhook here. I got a good step on my foot, but it's taking forever to tap this guy. Guys, that's when you should just use this hand to assist on the leg, okay? Again, we have two very good options for that. First one being, if you have the shoulder mobility, palm up, clamp grip on his big toe, and we just rotate, okay? If you don't have the shoulder mobility or that's not enough for some reason, we'll punch a deep underhook, all right? And turn your shoulder.